The blizzard of '78. The wind howled like a wounded beast, tearing across the Ohio countryside, burying roads, fences, and homes beneath a smothering weight of snow. It was January 26, 1978, and the worst blizzard in Ohio's history was swallowing Columbiana County whole. Tom Lawson gripped the frozen steering wheel of his old Ford truck, his knuckles white as he fought to keep the vehicle from sliding off the unrecognizable road. The engine sputtered, struggling against the cold, and he knew he didn't have much farther to go before he'd be stranded. His heart pounded in his chest. He hadn't seen another car or house in miles. Then, through the swirling whiteout, a dark shape emerged. An old farmhouse, its windows flickering dimly with candlelight. He hesitated only a moment before steering toward it. Snow crunched beneath his boots as he forced his way to the door, his breath coming in heavy clouds. He rapped on the wood, his gloves stiff from the ice. A moment later, the door creaked open, revealing an elderly woman wrapped in a heavy shawl. She peered at him with kind but curious eyes.
Well, come in before you freeze to death.
Tom stepped inside, stamping the snow from his boots. The warmth of a wood stove met him, the smell of burning oak thick in the air. A man, perhaps in his 60s, sat in a worn rocking chair near the fire, watching him.
The storm caught you, did it?
Yeah, Tom exhaled. Truck's dead out there. The woman handed him a thick wool blanket.
We don't get many visitors in weather like this.
Tom let his frozen fingers thaw as he looked around the room. It felt like stepping into another time. Old wooden furniture, faded wallpaper, the hum of a ticking clock on the mantel. Something about the house felt familiar. I appreciate the kindness, Tom said. What's your name? The woman smiled softly.
My name is Margaret, and that's my husband, Henry.
At the sound of the name, something stirred in Tom's memory. A name, a house, a story his mother used to tell him. He glanced around again, his pulse quickening. This house, does it have a root cellar? He asked suddenly. Margaret and Henry exchanged a glance before Henry nodded.
Yep, it's through that door.
Tom stood, his legs unsteady as he moved toward the door Henry had indicated. He hesitated only a moment before gripping the handle and pulling it open. The scent of earth and aged wood filled his nostrils. His mother's voice came back to him then, from when he was just a boy.
During the Depression, your great-grandfather hid in the cellar of an old farmhouse to escape the debt collectors. The family that lived there took him in. They saved his life.
Tom turned back to the couple. This house. My great-grandfather stayed here, didn't he? Margaret's lips pressed together, and then she nodded.
Your great-grandfather was Samuel Lawson?
Tom's breath caught. You knew him? Henry chuckled.
Knew him? He saved our family's farm, helped us pay our debts by teaching us how to manage our land better. Without him, we wouldn't be here.
Tom swallowed hard. The storm raging outside, suddenly insignificant compared to the history standing before him. Well, he said, pulling the blanket tighter around his shoulders, looks like this house has saved a Lawson twice now. Margaret smiled as Henry rocked gently in his chair, the fire crackling beside him.
Funny how history has a way of bringing folks back,